Hold on, wait. I am just so impressed by you, bro. This is
You know
so
about
cool.
epigenetics?
No,
Nice.
just
Okay.
everything.
Nice.
Heuristics. Like, I listen to a lot of podcasts and the things you're talking about. Like, I try to talk to my friends about, and they're always like, "That you're like talking about way too much bullshit." And this is cool to kind of be on the same page with some of this
Nice.
stuff, you know. But
hopefully, I'm not rambling.
no, you're
Okay,
fine.
cool,
I
cool.
love this. This is
Okay, nice.
amazing. Thank you so much.
Hell yeah,
Keep
bro.
going,
This is
bro.
dope. Yeah.
Keep going.
I know I have it in me. It's just like at this moment, I was like, nah, I'm not
That's
sure.
what I'm saying, though, because you know the work it takes to bring that out of you.
Yeah. And it's just like, I don't want to, like, I personally want to add that to my schedule already as of right now, like
Because of the circumstances of your
Exactly.
life. But let me ask you this, Ali. If not day one, then it's always going to be one day.
First, you have to recognize that change is needed.
Not only is change needed, listen, change is inevitable.
It's inevitable.
The only thing in the universe that doesn't change is the ever recurrence of change itself. Have you ever seen a field get plowed by an oxen?
Oh, it's ridiculous.
It is some like, and to be able to do it with.
Or a scythe using a fucking.
Have you seen a scythe?
Those
First of
guys
all,
are savages.
seeing them against lawnmowers is hilarious because they still outcompete them based off the efficiency
ridiculous.
of it. Yeah.
And especially if you're good at it.
Especially if you're good at it. You see
like,
this. You see these guys in these lawnmowers just like steal, and you see this old Amish guy,
Freaking, yeah.
just with his shirt off.
Yeah. All right, Jedediah, let's get this. And just
All
like,
right, Jedediah.
That's Amish, isn't it?
I kind of wanted it to be Scouse.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, fucking Jedediah, get the chicken. Get the chicken, Darren.
Get the cook.
Darren, get the chicken and the coke for breakfast.
It's how you have to feel if you want to be great at anything.
The champion mindset.
Champion mindset.
And
yeah.
that's why people couldn't stand Michael Jordan. Because they were like, they're like, bro, we can't be you. And he's like, well, I don't care. Try your hardest to be the best you.
Yeah, you saying that out loud just shows me that there's doubt.
Literally.
That's what I love about the UFC. These guys truly believe they can fight the best fighters on the planet, the most innate, just fighting, what you do before you die.
Right.
And they're like, I can fight anyone.
What you do while you're alive.
It's
just
every
fighting.
day.
Every day punching life down with a spinning elbow and a high knee to the nose.
Is this Alex Jones doing self-help?
I'd have to go a little deeper. I'd have to go a little deep.
I gotta be honest.
Gotta get a little bit deeper. That's hilarious.
Because just as you need to work out the physical, you need to work out the mental.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big aspect of my growth. Like, you helped me out of a dark place because of the discipline and stuff like that. It was like you extended your hand. You was there for a minute, but it was only my time when I was ready to grab it. I needed my own things and my own life to happen for me to be able to take your hand and be like, all right.
Because that's all I can do. I can only lend my hand.
Yeah.
It's up to you to reach out and say, all right, I'll take that assistance.
Yeah.
And with the people in your life, you now recognize that you're the lending hand to those that need that help.
Yeah.
And that's what matters. And that's how you know you become a man.
It don't even have to be financial. It could be spiritual, emotional.
All of it.
Yeah.
They want to be about that life. But as soon as they get hit in the face, they realize, oh, this isn't a joke. Like, this isn't a game.
Mm.
You know the old proverb, you don't play boxing, right?
Mm.
The old pugilistic proverb, you don't play boxing.
Mm.
You don't play fighting at all in general.
See, I'm saying I was selfish before 9 round because I was doing boxing for me. And like after the 9 round, after we quit 9 round, I had grown and all that. I wanted to be healthy and, just grow myself for the people around me at that point. And that just motivated me more than being selfish,
Right, because at that point, you recognized the limitations of the joy and worthiness that you felt, and let's just say purpose that you had in your life when you were doing it simply for you. Like when you're boxing, imagine, and we'll get down to this point, imagine if you had done all this growth and then went into your first boxing match.
That's what I mean. That's why I'm trying to get you to like train me and do something with me. But
we'll get there. We'll get there.
And honestly,
You know what I mean?
yeah. And really, I think the first real life example I think I've ever gotten from seeing somebody personify whatever it is that they're teaching or researching, whatever, was your process going through writing the book. I mean, everything in terms of what you wrote about, you experienced in some level, some degree, like shaving your head, fasting, like those were what you wrote about, those people back then, that time, day and age, everything. Like you were about to blow smoke in that book without going through the struggle of doing it. And that's like, as somebody, third party watching somebody go through that, you can only hold a level of respect for that. You know what I'm saying? And then, I mean, you telling people to go run in the snow, okay, you can't help but respect that because you're out there running in the snow, not just running in the snow, but in shorts that like nobody is wearing for the wintertime. So it's like,
well, no shirt at all.
Or no shirt at all. Exactly.
So if you were religious, maybe a lot of these things would be a little bit more identifiable with you without you having to, let's say, go 2, 3, however many years in that depressive state.
Bro, it's like 5, bro.
You see what I mean?
5.
And it's
like
because we
5
don't
years.
have, as young millennials, dog, we don't have the blueprint that most generations had for all of human history.
Yeah, I guess that decision comes like at a point of like awareness. Like you have to be aware of your problems and of your issues. And it's like, if you're not, everything's just so like convoluted. Like yeah, without awareness, like you can't change, you know?
So with that awareness, did you in your mind say, I'm going to actively seek out how to find these answers? Or did you say, I'm going to wait for the universe to do it for me?
No, yeah. I was like, I'm trying to figure this out, yeah.
So I just think it's a little disingenuous when people who are aware that they're consciously choosing what they're doing in their life, brush it off to determinism and free will, and free will being an illusion, because then it does take away the weight of the accountability in your actions. Because then you can just always chalk it up, Sam Harris style, to the universe is going to have it that way anyway.
Yeah,
and I do believe kind of in some determinism. I agree with you, but we just got to ask ourselves, to what point do we actually keep that accountability tethered to our choices and to our free will? You have the family household, right?
Right.
How many adults are in that household?
Usually one.
No. Back in the day, how many adults are in a dynamic family household? Mother and father?
2, yeah.
2, literally. So you have 2 adults in the household.
Right.
Under the government, and now we know about paying taxes and stuff, the 2 people in the household, how many are paying taxes? 1. The other is dependent, right? Man, there's 50% of people out there that ain't paying for shit, that aren't consumers, that aren't paying taxes.
Right.
What if, now bear with me, guys, what if we could get those dependent adults, i.e. the women, and make them independent consumers so they pay taxes and are buying stuff also?
Genius. It's genius.
So they were able to double the consumer rate and their taxpayers by allowing what is perceived as women's liberation and women's freedom. And the irony behind it is you had these dudes in power saying, let's act like we're giving these women all these rights and stuff, so they'll act a certain way, more masculine, to where they'll be more consumer-based and they'll be more job-orientated, more career-orientated, less family-orientated, to where they'll be quite literally independent, don't need no man.
Right.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie.
It's all an agenda.
Guys were geniuses. With my mother, it's kind of a tricky thing because she has a single mother. I call it single mother syndrome only because it's like the independent woman falls under that category of like single mother. They have to do everything.
Both roles.
Yeah, both roles. So
maternal and paternal.
It puts a strain. Like it's hard to.
It's a quite literal contradictory position to be in because you're having to be both emotional, nurturing, but like.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna lie. My mom kind of gave up on the nurturing side.
But you have to if you're gonna maintain your sanity. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Like you can't.
You have to choose one or the other.
Yeah, and when
you have to be in survival mindset, you can't choose the other.
Yeah, so like she's like, dang, if I had somebody helping, maybe it'd be a lot easier. So
builds resentment, everything else.
Resentment. Now I'm talking shit because I got my own emotions.
And it's like, do you not realize what I'm doing for you, Trey?
Yeah.
Travion.
Travion, don't take his Macintosh.
You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly what she was saying. I did everything. I did the best I could.
Right, and she did.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And
most parents do. That's why you can't blame your parents because they were learning too.
I would agree to that because there's been such a change of the weight and like the value of what sex is.
The value of sex,
because
exactly.
there's been a devalue of what it is to be a woman.
So let me ask you this, and this is the point I was getting to. When you understand women are in control of sex,
Mm-hmm.
and you understand women are starting to become more masculine, what does that mean they want to start doing more of?
Dictating the relationship.
Not only dictating the relationship, but being able to have casual, laissez-faire sex with whoever they want.
Oh yes, 100%. And honestly, I mean, like this might not. This all right, whatever. This is an important topic. You have to experience that laissez-fairness. There are levels, of course. There's like
So you're saying you have to have a hoe phase?
you have honestly, you don't have to if you have been accustomed to what it's like to be treated as a woman in the right way.
Do you think 200 years ago, how many sexual partners do you think our grandmothers and great-grandmothers had?
Not many.
Less than 5, if not less than 2. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's comparing what has been for almost all of human history versus what we think is just because of the recency bias of modern society.
Yeah, and there's just a larger exploitation of it too. I mean, like that's praise. Like the whole phase is praised.
Like just self-loathing and dwelling on all this stuff and then believing that it is true.
But that self-loathing and that lack of self-worth nearly always comes from the lack of life experiences to build that self-worth. And for you, think about what we're doing in here now. The nonstop autocorrection we get from developing a deeper sense of self-awareness through messing up in a combo and then recorrecting the combo, those sort of skills and experiences from this point on, the more you do them recurringly, will build the worthiness and will build the self-confidence for when you are alone, you'll be that much more prepared to handle whatever imposter insecurities that would come to the surface. It's just about developing those life experiences and those life skills.
Yeah, definitely. And I would say a lot of my adolescence, I didn't develop a lot of the life experience. I would just, like I said, I would just stay home and just be cooped up in my little pigeon coop playing video games. And that's all I knew. I didn't do anything. I didn't experience shit. Like recently I've been experiencing life, like somewhat life experiences and it's like hits me like a train. Like what the fuck?
The immediate regret of knowing that the path of least resistance wasn't the most optimal. It was just the most comfortable. And the most comfortable a lot of the times is going to make you feel the most shitty. Because deep down, you are capable of so much that standard, whether you like it or not, is what you're capable of. And if you don't meet even a fraction of that standard that you're quite literally as an individual, as Danny is capable of, then that self-loathing, that shittiness will have no choice but to creep in because you deep down know that you could have been better.
Yeah.
The romanticizing of relationships as being similar to life as some foundation of happiness or some foundation of love is just unrealistic.
100%. And it's like I said, it's also unfair to put those kind of expectations on
each other.
Either way.
Each other, right.
Oh,
So,
man.
By allowing that communication at the beginning to mitigate the
It
expectation.
just fucking opens up it opens up the it deconstricts everything.
Exactly. It opens up the corset.
Yeah.
There's videos.
Literally, that's kind of what I was trying to represent.
By unknotting the corset of the expectations on a relationship,
Oh man.
you allow
breathe.
both individuals to breathe and build a foundation that can stand the test of
Oh,
time
man.
till death do them part.
Yes, and
As an ordained reverend, you know. I'll be honest, bro. You saying, because I don't want to put it on my plate right now, that you limiting yourself. And you as a leader of men should understand the implications of what it means when your subordinates limit themselves.
But what do I have to prove right now besides
You have nothing to
proving
prove.
something to myself?
What do you have to, you only have yourself to prove yourself to.
But that's what I'm saying. But personally, at this moment, I don't feel like I have to prove that to myself. That's why
but
I'm okay with it. You know what I'm saying?
My question is, how can you turn off and on owing yourself to be better? That's all.
How can I turn myself? Okay, that's a hell of a question, bro.
How can you turn off and on trying to make yourself better? That's all.
It takes courage, and
because you have to realize where you're a piece of garbage. You know what I'm saying? You have to realize where you are wrong. And a lot of people don't want to realize that they aren't perfect. It's that sort of concept we always talk about. It's the yearning for perfection, but never realizing that you'll always be imperfect. And again, we can go into, that's why I wrote the book on like history and religion and all that stuff, because all these ancient concepts and stories relay that exact message. Like the idea you're born with sin, the idea that the minute we became self-aware when Eve ate from the forbidden fruit, like it's the concept of we then became aware of our nakedness. We then became aware of our own mortality. We then became aware that we are not perfect like God, let's say, quote unquote, from the biblical proverbial sense, but we are instead imperfect mortal beings, no different than every other animal on earth who has an inevitable beginning and an inevitable end. And that's a scary, scary concept for people to grasp, let alone think about. And if you think about it and eventually grasp it, it's a hubris that cannot be attained in any other way, in realizing that I'm imperfect forever and I'm perfectly content with that imperfection.
Yeah, that was good. First.